Hi everybody, welcome to the show. I have changed formats a little bit for, is that the word I want? I've changed it up a little bit for this MKAL because I have nothing else to show you. So unless I have something else, these episodes are going to be shorter just to discuss the MKAL. So I guess today's will be MKAL Clue 1 or something. I've been having trouble all week with how I wanted to approach the subject of what has gone on with this MKAL so far. And if you're with the MKAL, if you've been doing the MKAL, then you are aware of what's happening. I've been really troubled and frankly disgusted by comments and behaviors that I've seen in the knitting community over this, which is also why you're not getting a full episode today, because I'm trying to be very measured and precise with my words, and I'm trying to not be emotional. And by emotional, I mean angry, disappointed, unsafe in this community. Especially in a time of year that I look forward to participating in, that I have been feeling unwelcome. And the first thing I want to say is that I love Stephen West. I didn't think it was possible to love him more, or to respect him more, or to, and I've never thought that he was more important to our community. I mean, I've always said he was important because he's pushing us forward, but I think now, through this, he's held us to an even higher standard, and I applaud him for his quick pivot. That's what I was saying when this whole thing came out. I was like, pivot. You've seen Friends, you know what I'm talking about. So when the news broke, okay, I'll give some background in case you are unaware. Stephen put out the first clue for the MKAL. And as we were coming up to parts of it, some people remarked that it resembled a certain very well-known hate symbol, which was completely unintentional. And some people didn't see it. So we were divided in the people that saw it and the people that didn't see it. And it's so well known, I'm not sure how you don't see it. I didn't see it in my colors, but once it was in other people's colors, specifically black, red, and white, I saw it very much. Black and red, I saw it very much. And I immediately was heartbroken for Stephen because I knew he would never. And I was like, how many tests? No one saw this? No one caught this? And I was like, oh my God, all this work that's happened, all that's gone on. And so he came out and gave us a new version. Long story short, new version. And he said, scrap the old ones. He took the old one down, took the old video down, and said that is no longer part of the MKAL. This is the new beginning to the MKAL. And he basically said, I'm trying to boil it down. Well, he apologized for the hurt and said he didn't want to cause any more hurt. And in the spirit of that, we were moving on. And that was no longer part of the design. It was not going to be included in the MKAL. It was gone. It was just gone. And he said, you will have enough yarn to finish. If you finish clue 1, you don't need a froggy. You can just leave it. Just start over. You'll be fine. You won't run out of yarn. And which was I was quite okay with starting over because I didn't want to wear anything that remotely would put me in a camp of aligning with any hate group, especially one that targets me. So no thank you. No thank you. No thanks. So I was like, okay, we'll be fine. We'll just start over. But I didn't want to do the new clue. That was I did not want to do the new clue because his garter in the round, and like, you've heard me say how much I hate garter in the round. And luckily, there was I'll link below. There is a pink Queen Yarns something had this square, and I liked the square, but I wanted to combine the color of Stephen's first clue, the new official clue, but use her technique, because then I could learn something. And also I wanted to play around with my color placement a little bit. So we now have radiating squares as the first clue. So I've started over. I'm almost done. The clue drops in about 12 hours. I'm hoping I'm on the right track now to finish in time so I can be ready at 4 a.m. when the clue comes out. So I guess I'll just show you, and then I'll go back to why I'm so angry with everybody. Okay. So I have 3/4 of the square completed. So what I also did was, okay, I changed the order to keep it very, very moody. So I started with my darkest color, which is the violet. And so I went backwards. This is worked from the outside in. So you work, this is not the original. Stephen has you work in this cast on in the center and you work out. It's much, much easier that way. But then you have to purl every other round, and I'm like, nah, I don't purl for garter stitch. I'm beyond that. I wanted to be challenged a little bit. The original clue one was very, very intricate, and it was modular, lots of pickup stitches and stripes. I hate stripes. You guys know I hate stripes, right? Hate stripes, hate gartering around. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. It's all the stuff I hate, which just made it more fun. So this way, you start here. You do a provisional cast on, and then you work backwards. So what I did is I worked my colors backwards, like I said, because I wanted more darkness. So there's only 2 stripes of pink, and they're pretty small. And then in the middle, I did, Stephen is always encouraging us to do color pops. So I give you the color void. That is just black. The beginning is black. Well, the end. The end is the beginning is the end. The beginning part is going to be, the center is going to be black. And I figured that would be a good way to, if I am short on yardage, to add black in it. Because basically anywhere I this dark purple is, I could put black next to it and it would look fantastic. It is full of hair, dog hair. So that's what I'm doing. It was very difficult. The first part, or obviously the first square was easy, but then after that you have to attach them, and that was it was not hard the first time. I must have got lucky and did it right. So I did take pictures of how to do the knit two together, because you attach with the knit two together on one side on the very last one, but the other ones are connected with an SSK. I took pictures of both so you could see the placement of my needle and the placement of the picked up stitch. And also for the very last one, I had to mark the next, you can clearly see where you pick up the stitches from because you slip the stitch first. You slip the first stitch. So there are clearly 4 stitches in each color. So it's very easy to see. The only problem is you might not know what round you're on as you're connecting. So I just made sure every time that I went through, picked up, I put a stitch in the next one. So when I came back around, I wouldn't have to figure it out, because it is harder to see when you're joining and working the last square is the hardest. I really like the edges here. They're not, I'm hoping they'll block out real well though, because they don't really look the same. There's also a million ends to weave in. Which I love weaving in on garter. In my recommended playlist, I'll make sure it's there. There is a very pink knits tutorial for weaving in your ends, and it's umbrellas and smiles, and I always remember to do it because of the umbrellas and smiles. And it really, I like it better than the Weave and Steven. I'm sorry, but I do, because there's no bulk. I don't feel any bulk. I don't feel any bulk where they are. So you can usually not know where they are unless they're poking out. So this is my square. I will be done. I'm not sure I'll have all the ends woven in, but I'll be done by tonight. I'm loving how my colors are coming up. I love it. I think this is, I don't know why everyone's so mad with this clue. I think it's pretty. I think if you, like I said before, if you like your colors, you're fine. If you like your color, if you genuinely like looking at your colors, you're fine with whatever is going to come out. And if you're not a beginner, you can work around some of his stuff and make it look like it's intended, but do it in a different way, which make it more challenging for you if you're looking for more of a challenge. On the first clue, I'm not looking for much of a challenge. When I saw the original, I was like, this is a little too challenging for the first clue. What's the rest of this going to look like? I was a little worried. I still am a little worried of where he's taking us. If that was the first, but like if this is going to be square, is it going to be like a hat? Like you fold it in half and it's a triangle and you wear it that, like, then we're not going to see the beginning very much. It's going to be put in half like a triangle and worn that way. So that's where I am in clue 1. Super excited. Really, I am ready for clue 2. I will be. I promise. I will be ready. I will be ready for clue 2. And I'm hoping that the clue 2 will settle some people down. So let's get serious for a minute. Do you remember last year I talked about people being crybabies? And then the last episode I talked about those same people. I talked about the same crybabies. And I feel like the people that didn't want to wear a mask to keep us safe are the same people that are mad that they can't do the first clue, the first official clue anymore. No one's saying you can't do it. Steven said you can do it. What he said was he's not holding space for that. So if you do it, it's on your own, and you're no longer part of the MKAL, and your finished photos will not be included in any of his spaces. So it won't be featured in his Ravelry group. It won't be on his Instagram. It won't be. It just won't be. And I have a problem with I have like a two-pronged problem with this, with these people's ridiculous response to this. The first is that it's beyond me. It's beyond me that you won't take a stand against hate, that you see this as your own rights being trampled. It's so ridiculous. You're ridiculous. You're ridiculous. And you're making people in the community feel unsafe, and that's on you. That's on you. And I have to say, I left a couple MKAL groups. I'm still in one that is not officially Steven, not officially Westknit's, because they are supporting Steven. The rest of them are ridiculous. Ridiculous. And like wanting to share the original that he took down. It's to me, it's become a consent issue that Steven himself has said, I don't want this out there with my name on it. He has said that. He has said that. And you're forcing him to be a part of something he does not want to be a part of. And if he can toss away and let go of something he spent months preparing, then so can you. So what I need you to do is go to your room and think about it. Think about what a child you're being, and when you're ready to grow up and join the rest of us adults in a global community without hatred, we'll welcome you back. But until then, you need to go to your room and sit down. So if it's not obvious by now, there is zero place for hate in any of my space. I mean, I hate everyone equally. I hate people in general, but no, none of that's going to happen here. And so for all of you that were able to pivot, and once you got over the shock of, I know what I paid for my yarn, I was like, what? We cut all of those. Wait, what? We cut all of those. I cut all of those ends. I cut all of those ends, you guys. And I was like, those are too small. This is super wash. I can't splice it together. What are we going to... I was like, oh my God. I'm going to have to buy a whole new... And then I'm like, how am I going to get a whole new set before it comes out on Thursday? Those, I was not at all like... I don't want to wear anything that is anywhere close to resembling anything like that. Mine didn't because of the colors. I didn't see it in my color specifically. I didn't see it in a lot of things. But then I started see it was more of the people refusing, absolutely refusing to change. That was my problem. And what I felt, this hatred and entitlement from the community, like, well, I don't see it, so. Like, that's not the most recognized hate symbol in the world right now. In our country, at least, in America, that is the most recognized hate symbol I can think of. I see it all the time in real life. So I don't know how you can be like, well, I don't see it, and I don't care if other people see it because I don't see it. And you're going to walk around wearing that? Good luck. Good luck. I hope someone calls you out on it. I really, really do. I really, really do. It's like people refusing to wear masks. It's you do it so other people don't feel afraid. That's why you do it. Because we live in a community. You don't live in an island where it's just you. We live in a community where, unfortunately, we have to live among other people. Can I mention how happy I am that these neighbors left? And I have new neighbors that have a cute dog, and I like them so much better. I feel so much more comfortable in my house now that I don't have those garbage neighbors living there anymore. It makes such a difference. So if you're acting like this, you're a garbage neighbor and you need to stop. Stop being garbage. And I don't know how you can be a fan of Steven in the first place and think any part of that is okay with how hard he works to include everyone and to make it a safe space for everyone. How you think he would be fine with that? Like, come on. What are you even doing? What are you even doing in this MKAL? What are you even doing here? What are you doing here? You're making it unsafe for other people, and you need to stop. God, I'm so angry. This is why I didn't want to do a show. This is exactly why I didn't want to do a show today, because I knew I was going to get angry. Because if you haven't realized, there's a bunch of bad stuff happening on the other side of the world. So you're trivial, oh my God, I can't post pictures of my shawl. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. There's real violence happening to people in the world. All over, in this country too. I watched a documentary last night. I think it was on HBO about Charlottesville. Do you remember the Tiki Torch? We call it the Tiki Torch Parade. I don't know what the people call it. I don't want to give the name that they called it. There was a rally in Charlottesville where a woman was, I believe her name was Heather, right? Was run over by a guy driving a car through crowds. I saw the video. I saw that video. It was terrifying. It was terrifying. And that didn't happen that long ago. That was like 2018, 2017. One of those. It's like about 5-6 years ago. Not that long ago. And all the other holy places that have been directly tied to that rally. There are images coming out of Israel today with the hostage, the people that were taken hostage. And there's an image of a woman holding her 2 redheaded boys. And I can't stop seeing that image. And every time someone online cries, some Karen is crying, about how she is so disappointed and, oh my God, I want my money back and I'm never doing another MKAL. Good. Bye. Bye. See ya. I'm not even going to apologize to you guys for my anger. I'm really not, because it's justified. And I'm not even using it to hurt anybody. I just want you guys to go away. Go somewhere else. Go somewhere else and do whatever you want. But leave this space safe for the rest of us. Because it's ridiculous. A lot of us are going through stuff right now with things we see, not only in Israel right now, but in our own communities, with our own friends and family. And I just think it's just disgusting. It's disgusting. It's gross. It's so gross. And it's making me rethink whether I even want to be a part of this community anymore. Because I don't feel I'm a part of it. I feel like, am I ever going to be a part of it? I'm never going to be a part of it. Because there's too many reasons why I'm not accepted. Right? There's too many reasons why I'm not accepted. And I didn't mind being the weirdo. You know, I really don't mind being the weirdo. I don't mind being the weirdo, you know, weirdo goth girl that wants everything in black. And I'm like, oh, look at this. Oh, you can't because it's black. But That I didn't mind. I didn't mind when people don't like me because I clear my throat too much, or I say too much, or because my brain flits from one thing to another too quick. I know not everyone is going to be able to handle that. That's fine too. But this is something entirely different. This is something so entirely different. And we can't be an accepting, inclusive, global community if people are going to act like this. And I'm hoping that this, I know in the one group that I am still in, a lot of them left because they got mad that they wouldn't allow them to show their pictures. But I left like 2 or 3 groups because they were allowing the pictures. And I was like, no, because I couldn't tell which was and wasn't. And I was like, I don't want to be surrounded by these people. It's not, I didn't feel safe sharing my stuff, being targeted. And I really wanted to stand with Steven because his last video made me cry. And I got mad that you guys made him cry, and now you've made me cry, and when does all the crying end? When does the violence end? When does the hate end? It's when we all stand up against it. And what are you doing? What are you doing? For what? For what? For some triangles? Really? 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 So I guess I just want to say, to erase any doubt, that if that's where you stand, if you stand with those triangles and that hate symbol, and that's what you want to do, I want to be crystal clear that you don't have a place here with me, that I don't want you here. I don't make content for you. It's not for you. If you want to change your mind, then you're welcome here. But as long as you hold those beliefs and you're going to say those types of things, I don't make content for you. Everyone else is welcome. Everyone else that is accepting of others and is intolerant of intolerance, because you cannot be tolerant of intolerance. That is what leads to violence. And I'm a pacifist. I don't believe in violence. I don't believe in war. I don't think war solves anything at all. I think it's much better to resolve things with words and maybe a charter. A peace, what do they call those? A peace accord, right? Some sort of, we promise to not fight anymore. Work it out. Work it out. The violence isn't going to solve anything. Violence begets violence. An eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind. Remember that? Anyway. I'm trying to not watch the news as much as possible because it just keeps triggering me. So I keep watching movies, like some of my favorite movies that make me feel calm. And the only one that does it is Live Free or Die Hard. What are the Bruce Willis Die Hard movies? Where they're doing this fire sale. The, what do you call it? With the computer hackers. And it's got, Maggie Hewitt. I just love her. I love her. She's always this badass chick, and I just love her. Kevin Smith has a small part in it. I don't know why that's the one that I'm like, this movie makes me feel good right now. It's weird. Because it's like, okay, you want to hear some of my other ones? It's Pride and Prejudice is the number one. The Pride and Prejudice, the movie with Keira Knightley and Matthew McFadden, because he's the real Darcy, and I don't care. I will fight you. Colin Firth is not that Darcy. He's the Bridget Jones Darcy. What was his name in Bridget? Whatever. He's Bridget Jones. He's not Mr. Darcy. Plus, he's not good looking enough. I don't know what you're looking at, but no. That scene where Matthew McFadden is walking at the end, he's walking through that meadow in the mist. Yes, please. I sit through 2 hours of that movie just to see that part. Perhaps Mr. Collins is a chemist. What excellent boiled potatoes. How can you not love that movie? Is a gem. Oh my God, that is my number one. My number one is Bright Fishes. My number two usually is Terminator Genesis, which I've gone over before, is the best Terminator movie that there is. And it was supposed to be the first of 3. And we never got the other 2. And I'm dying that I don't know what the plot of the other 2. I want to know how that 3, what do you call 3 movies? There are 3, that trilogy. I wanted to know how what was going to happen in that trilogy. I will go to my grave and I will be like, what was going to happen in that trilogy? Because at the end, Skynet's still alive. And Skynet is Matt Smith, which is just freaking cool. And that's full of gems. John Connor talks too much. Like, great gems, great lines. Okay, do you have a thing where you just say movie lines all the time? Okay. So Terminator Genesis, which also has Khaleesi as Sarah Connor, which my problem with her Sarah Connor has nothing to do with her. It has to do with how they wrote that Sarah Connor. Now that wasn't the same Sarah Connor as Linda Hamilton's T2 Sarah Connor. 2 totally different Sarah Connors. They have to be. Okay. Totally different. But it's actually like supposed to be the first T2. I mean the first Terminator, the first one. But it's an alternate timeline. So it's okay. It doesn't mess with anything. It's an alternate timeline. It's really, really cool. It's my favorite. Anyway. That's another movie. Another movie is the last Jurassic Park movie. Even though I hate Chris Pratt. I hate him so much. But that one I like because Dr. Ian Malcolm comes back. And is that a dinosaur on your shoulder? What are my other ones? For your Die Hard. Oh, Few Good Men. I love that one too. Because it's courtroom drama. I'm trying to think. The Day After Tomorrow with Jake Gyllenhaal with The End of the World. I love catastrophe movies. I love them. I'm trying to think of what my other ones are. Oh, The Day the Earth Stood Still with Keanu Reeves. So those are like my safe movies. My most safe movie I don't actually have, and it's not available anywhere. It's called What About Bob with what's his name? Richard Dreyfuss and Bob Wiley, who played Bill Murray. And it is about Bob has an anxiety disorder. I'm not sure exactly what his official diagnosis is, but it was the first time I saw a movie about someone like me that was funny, where not that he was being laughed at, but that it was a funny way to portray. It made me able to laugh at the things that I couldn't do, like with the baby steps on the bus. I did that on a plane. I did that to get on a plane. I had 2 planes. One was very small. I flew from Cleveland to Seattle with a layover in Colorado, and I had to do baby steps on the bus. So, that movie was the first time I could laugh at what was wrong with me, and that movie means everything to me. The other movies, Zoolander, and Young Frankenstein. Even though I'm not really a comedy person, but Young Frankenstein is the best, and so is Zoolander. I don't care. There's David Bowie in it, but I don't like Labyrinth because I don't like puppets. Puppets freak me out. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna stop here. See how many of you I have alienated, but I'm pretty sure not many, because I can't imagine you've been here if you like certain things. This is important information. All that matters is that you have 85 stitches on each side. Was that 340 stitches on the outside? And it can be any color. Any color can be your end color, because with the first one, it ended with your darkest color, but on the second one, it ends with your second lightest, I think. And that's also why I changed mine, because I wanted the darkest color on the outside and the inside. I wanted it to be as dark as possible. I'm hoping that doesn't screw me at the end when I have to like make a big pink part of it, because I don't want that. Maybe I'll just make black. Maybe I'll just I don't know where we're going. I don't know, like, anything is possible right now. I wasn't sure where we were going with the original clue. I was not sure where we were going. I'm like, what is happening now? Like, what's he gonna do next? So I'm hoping he didn't have to do too much work. I don't know what next week is clue 2. And we'll see what that looks like. Hopefully a lot of us can get back to enjoying this MKAL without having other people's ignorance and callousness hurting us. And yes. So I'm excited to. Did you do yours? If you did yours, if you're doing yours, I would love if you would comment on my Instagram. If you have an Instagram and you posted yours, if you comment on my Instagram for this episode, because then I can follow you back. I could go to your page and see what yours looks like. Because I'm always looking for people that are doing, like, I don't normally look up the hashtags, but I do look up the MKAL, for every year I look up these hashtags to see what everybody's doing, to see, like, I want to see the colors you're doing. I want to see what mods you made. Like, to me, that's the whole fun of it, is to see. I usually do it to pattern. There's not much that I modify, so that I'm modifying this is really crazy. Because I usually don't. I usually just go, well, this is only my third one. So probably because I just didn't want to do garden. That's why. I was like, I'm not doing garden around. No. And then last night I was like, I should have just done it in the round. I would not do the square again. I would not. I do the garter knot in the round, though. I would do it. I'd figure out how to do it with a short row. Stop making people cry, especially Steven. And let's have fun, and let's get back into the MKAL spirit, and let's open up this global community again, because I've seen people from all over and what they're making, and it's so fun. I'm trying to think of what colors I've seen. That pink yarn queen, pink queen yarn, whatever, whoever did this square, her colors were awesome. And I was like, oh my God, that's so bright. I would have never picked those because they're super bright. Like, I wouldn't, but I enjoyed looking at her square, and it was really cool. And I was like, I almost did the staggered stripes like that, and then I didn't, because I wanted more of an optical illusion into the dark void of black in the middle. So that's why I did that. Anyway, okay, I'm leaving because I'm losing the light, and it's 5 o'clock, and I haven't eaten lunch yet, so it's dinner time. And I want to get this edited tonight so I can have everything ready for 4 a.m. when I get the clue. I will probably just be finishing up clue 1. Probably not. But I'm not going to get my ends. I was hoping I'd have all the ends. I was hoping I would finish that square. I was on track to finish that square last night and then have today to weave in my ends, but I didn't. And then today I took a nap. So I've done nothing. I've had a really it's been a really bad week with everything going on in the world. Just horrible. I don't do well when things are happening all around the world and bad things are happening, and I don't like it. So hopefully we can all take some comfort and have a little bit of fun with the rest of this MKAL. And hopefully people will let us enjoy it now. So, take care of yourselves. I'll see you next week. Goodbye.